YouTube? What is good? It's your boy LDCB, and that stands for Lockdown Cornerback. And today I'm playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, another gameplay for you guys. I don't know if you like these or not, but either way, I'm gonna keep doing gameplays for you. So right now there is the new event going on, and I already played the beginning. This director Krennic stuff, the new Empire characters. Empire is actually the new meta. Hopefully, that's sort of what they're hoping to do with this. What with Wigs destroying it right now with the meta, these guys sort of shut down Wigs. Tomorrow I will be doing a Death Trooper video, me going through this. I did do the full first Director Krennic one, so I have 25 shards of him out of 50. Today I'm going to be going over Cantina Shipments, not battles. Cantina battles is a different story. All these here, if you want a quick tip here, get the Geonos and shoulder on the very beginning. That's just that's just a quick tip. But I'm talking about these ones right here, these shipments. Currently, I'm working on fives because of the clone squad. That works really well in the AAT raid. But I haven't done any clones at all except for obviously the one you get in the beginning. And then I have Commander Cody as well. But that's nothing really. He's not very far. So I'm talking about who I recommend getting first, who I recommend getting second, who I did, um, and just how well they're doing. All right, so I'll get started right away. Very first character, without a shadow of a doubt, is Qui-Gon Jinn. He was the very first character I got, and the shipments is actually, I'd say it's the third fastest. I think the first is Cantina Battles, second is Galactic War Shipments, and then third is Cantina Battle Shipments. But so it's relatively fast. I say I got Qui-Gon Jinn in, I don't know, I want to say around a month to 7 stars. But if you check here, he's my second best character, and I can actually upgrade this. But I don't actually care because I don't use him as a leader. I mean, there's so much to start with. He's a debuffer. So if you're playing against someone like Shore Trooper and he's got taunt up, or Royal Guard and he's got taunt up, use his Humbling Blow and he'll take it all away. Just like Baze does, except Baze does it to everyone. He just does it to one person. Harmonious Assault, which is you do it's a pretty good amount of damage, and you draw an assist, which is obviously pretty overpowered. That's more damage and everything. Plus, once you Omega it, you add 20% max health recovered to assist. So they also gain health if they bring the assist, which is pretty awesome. His basic I maxed. It was the first one I ever maxed, and that's because if in the beginning it's just deal physical damage with a 65% chance to gain 30% turn meter. Now there's a 65% chance to remove 30% of the opponent's turn meter, which is pretty awesome as well, especially in the Rancor raid and stuff, because he's always removing turn meter. So that is pretty sweet there. Moving on to the next one. Before his rework, I would have skipped him, but now I would definitely second Boba Fett for sure. Boba Fett is by far, like, I don't know, he does insane amounts of damage. He's also debuffer, and he works well with Darth Vader and himself. He has an ability that's like Darth Vader's Culling Blade. He's my fourth best character. Here we go. This Execute. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all status effects, so positive and negative. Deal 30% more damage for each effect dispelled. Enemies defeated by this ability can't be revived, which means that if you use Execute, he's the only one who can use Execute. Well, obviously, but he's the only one who can take down Boba Fett the first time around and keep him down, which is pretty awesome. And that's because of this right here, Bounty Hunter's Resolve, which is unique to him. And I'm kind of hoping, like I'm kind of suspecting that it will come around with other bounty hunters, but I don't know yet, maybe not. But it's at the start of the battle, and whenever he defeats an enemy, which means if you use Execute or something, then you'll get this again. Boba Fett gains Bounty Hunter's Resolve until he's defeated, so even once he comes back, he can get it again. Boba Fett ignores taunt during his turn. When defeated, revive at 100% health. This buff cannot be dispelled. And then there's also 100% protection on the right side there. But that's only if you Zeta it, and I think this is one of not one of the better Zetas. Um, it's still pretty awesome, but still. I use him as a leader a lot for both bounty hunters and non bounty hunters because when you see all these words, you know that he's got to be a good leader. All allies gain 50% critical damage. Bounty hunter allies gain 15 speed for each debuffed enemy. Gain max health equal to 50% of the total potency of all bounty hunter allies. And gain 15% turn meter whenever a thermal detonator explodes. Now, I know it doesn't sound like much, but that part at the end there with the 15% turn meter is actually really awesome when you're playing in the credit heist, which is actually going on right now, because you get people like Greedo and Zam Wessel, and they do is throw out um, uh, thermal detonators. So if you use Zam Wessel to activate those thermal detonators, then you're gaining 30, 35, 45% turn meter there, and that's pretty awesome. His AoE does a good bit of damage, and it gets ability block, which is pretty awesome. Plus, there's a 50% chance to inflict damage over time, which is pretty lit. You go to his EE3 Carbine, and he deals physical damage to a target enemy with a 50% chance, doubled against scoundrels, which includes himself. So that's a 100% chance to attack again. Each attack has a 70% chance to inflict damage over time for 2 turns. What I've learned is that 70% definitely feels like 100% because I always see that on him, and it helps in the Rancor raid and everything when you use him in there. So that's pretty cool as well. Um, so yeah, um, definitely recommend getting Boba Fett the second time around. Okay, now we'll go back into here real quick, and the third character that I think you should get is sort of up for grabs, but it depends on where you want to go. Poe Dameron used to be good. He was nerfed pretty hard, so I haven't been working on him. I think where if it wasn't for the clone meta, which if you're doing this right now, I would recommend going for fives. He's a great clone, and he's part of the meta. Oh shoot, I actually forgot. Third is Ahsoka Tano for sure. Ahsoka Tano is really great, and she heals. She does a good bit of damage, and of course you can use her for Yoda. I sort of forgot this top row here. Um, and so she's pretty awesome. I definitely recommend getting her third. I actually got her before Boba Fett, but that was because Boba Fett hadn't gone through his rework yet. So that was pretty um, uh, decisive, I guess, at a loss for words. So yeah, after Ahsoka, I recommend fives if you're doing it right now. But if you're watching this at a later time, do a little bit of research. Clones might not be doing too hot. I recommend getting Old Daka. She's one of the she does a really great like stun attack. She just attacks and almost has a guaranteed stun, and that always destroys. Um, you know, synergies. They start to get going, and then you stun them. They miss a turn, stuff like that. That's no bueno. Also, she revives, which she's one of like 5 people that revive people. So that's about as good as it gets. And she's a really good healer, so I recommend getting her. I haven't yet because I haven't been doing too well on Cantina shipments. After Old Daka, I definitely recommend Jedi Knight Guardian. No, I'm just kidding. After Old Daka, it's sort of up for grabs. First Order Officer might be good because he. Oh, actually, he's not. I thought he was part of the Empire because Empire is getting good right now. I recommend Mob Enforcer actually because Mob Enforcer throws out the thermal detonators and she works well with Boba Fett and she's a scoundrel, so you can put her in that event. Then Jawa Scavenger, just because all the Jawas, they actually work really well together and with droids. So then I'd recommend getting Jawa Scavenger. I don't have him yet, but I do recommend getting him after that. After Jawa Scavenger, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of people you want to spend your time on. Stormtrooper is, I mean, all right. He's an Empire character, and Empire's getting really good right now. Like they're going to be part of the next meta. But still, Stormtrooper, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd say if you're done with all those other characters and you don't want the First Order officer or Poe Dameron, um, then yeah, get him. Jedi Knight Guardian, I wouldn't even waste your time on. Hoth Rebel Scout, he's sort of a one-trick pony. He does what he does and then doesn't do anything else, and so I wouldn't really recommend going after him. Poe Dameron has a really good ship, and don't get me wrong, he's pretty good as well, just as an attacker. But he was nerfed because of the last meta. So if you want, you can get him, and I definitely, he's definitely a great addition. But it's hazy, If you want to get him, be my guest. If not, then I won't judge you. His ship is pretty good though. We'll look at Ahsoka Tano here real quick because I forgot to go over and look at her. Um, and you look at protective maneuver, deal physical damage to target enemy. If the target had 50% health or more, all allies recover health equal to 15% of Ahsoka's max health. Otherwise, his attack deals 50% more damage. So it's a really great finishing attack, pretty much, or it heals her whole team just enough, just a good bit, and that's always great. You look at her basic, and it's deal physical damage to target enemy, and Ahsoka recovers health equal to 8% of her max health, increased to 12% on a critical hit. And that's more if you actually upgraded it. I didn't really bother upgrading her. I only needed her for the Jedi, for the Yoda event, even though Yoda's not too hot. But that's really good because it's either she's healing herself at all times or she's healing her teammates. So that's pretty awesome. You look at her unique ability, and that, like I said, you have all these texts. It's got to be a great one. Ahsoka has plus 45% health, plus 35 speed, and plus 10% critical chance. When critically hit, which is great actually, 35 speed is pretty awesome. When critically hit, she loses one effect. When she defeats an enemy, she regains all of them. And that's pretty good because she'll defeat an enemy a lot with her protective maneuver because she does 50% more damage afterwards. And actually, if I upgrade it, I get plus 10 speed, which I might do. If Jedi Knight Anakin is present, Ahsoka gains critical hit immunity for 2 turns at the start of each encounter and whenever she uses a special ability, which is protective maneuvers only. Um, but that's pretty great. I don't have Jedi Knight Anakin yet, um, but he's definitely a great person to have, and so um, she's not she's not like dependent on Jedi Knight Anakin. So it's not like you have to have one, you have to have both. But that is a nice little boost there. She can't be critically hit, which means she can't lose any of those status effects, which is about as good as it gets. All right, guys. So I think that should about wrap this video up here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. I don't think so. I'm going to be doing this Death Trooper event. I'll be doing a YouTube video of that tomorrow night or tonight. Yeah, tonight technically. And so thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time.